Salutations, I'm StereoLotus77, and today we've got a super fun weapon for you guys. So we've got the Flamadiddle. You know, an item that a lot of people immediately discredit because of how trash-talked it is on the internet. But honestly, I think it's not that bad. And I'll tell you why. So, this item here, it's a TDR item, so typically you don't want to throw it or whatnot. But honestly, with this weapon, you can, but it's not the most effective. It's actually a really good shooting weapon. And the reason why I say that, the projectiles that it fires, they're fire darts that deal fire splash damage that also can chain to other enemies, which that last bit, not very many people know about. So, you can get it to ricochet off a wall, and when it ricochets off a wall, if it hits an enemy, it can pierce or chain. What I mean by chain is just going off and hitting another enemy. It might not actually. I guess the more accurate term is ricochet, not chain. So it would ricochet. It can ricochet. Now, is that reliable or consistent in any way, shape, or form? No, don't ever rely upon that. But it does exist. It is about as rare as your chance to light things on fire, but it does exist. I've seen it. It happens. But it also being able to ricochet off walls makes it pretty cool because you can cause some shenanigans to get it environmental scaling. I won't be showcasing that in this video intentionally. If it does happen, that's cool, but I'm not going to be intentionally showing that because I'm not good enough at the game to do that. So we will be showcasing the actual gunplay of the weapon that is traditional and that most people can utilize, while still showcasing that it's a half-decent weapon. I also have a Guardian Angel on here in case I do want to do the chuck equal damage thing, which is why I'm playing Flak instead of Zane. You can do the chuck equal damage thing by having it shoot its projectiles at the opponent, so you're still getting that splash fire damage as well as getting your TDR grenade bonus or whatnot. And then I have a res on here because I felt like it. That's it. The res is here because I felt like it. And we are running a plus ultra double health modifier, so we're getting a 125% max HP, or I think roughly. And then cooldown rate for absorbing bullets. Really nice survivability shield. I love this shield. It's so much fun. It's a really good survivability shield. It's sort of like running a Neogenator or something of that nature in BL2. So it's a pretty fun shield for survivability. It's not the best when it comes to DPS, but you're getting that cooldown rate, so it's a good utility in that regard. Rocking a Bounty Hunter because that's my primary comm on Flak. Running an Auto Idol with P-Nade. And then here's the tree. We did a lot more survivability things than damage for the setup, mostly because the mechanics of this shotgun make it really easy for Flak to make it shine. Because of that splash damage on the point of the dart, you're able to really amp it with that crit and that V1 damage, and then having splash on a comm, having that extra shotgun and company damage, that you're getting a boatload of different modifiers applied and still getting a lot of damage out of it. It being a lot of varied damage. Oh, okay. Well, it's time we get started. I should probably, hold up. I should turn this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so a key thing to the setup is it's going to take a lot of timing, because I'm mostly focusing on using my anointments to deal damage, and if my anointments are not active, I won't be dealing much damage. Also, for other people to utilize this setup, you're more likely to get more damage out of this by using something like a toboggan and a revolter and whatnot. Those are going to help you a lot more than the anointments will in this regard. The anointments are a lot more helpful, at least the way that I'm using them. They're a lot more helpful when it comes to being able to use an alternate shield and having that extra survivability, because I like having the extra survivability. It's not, it allows me to actually make mistakes instead of having to sit here and cry if I freaking fail to run because I'm playing terribly that day. And it would just be because I was playing terrible that day, because the builds that I make are usually pretty good. There are very few weapons that I've actually struggled with. I mean, again, outside of me having a bad day. And honestly, I kind of felt that this weapon would be one of those, and it really hasn't been. Now, if I wanted to amp a little bit more damage into here without popping Revolt, or because there's a lot of grievances I have against that shield, so I won't use it. But if I wanted to pump a little bit of extra damage into this build, something else that I could have done is instead of using Grenade Throw, grab Action Skill and Cryo, and then with that Cryo, getting getting Icebreaker Victory Rush instead of a Snowdrift Victory Rush. It would reduce my survivability just a touch, because the Snowdrift is a really good survivability prefix. That extra mobility grants you the capability to dodge a bit more, which I feel like a lot of people take for granted in this game. If you're sliding around and you're using that movement speed, you're able to dodge a lot more of those shots instead of having to hide behind stuff in BL2 and to slow down your gameplay cycle. In this game, you can play a lot more fast-paced because you have that movement tech capability. Alright, we're gonna check. I'm gonna shoot. Actually, I need my action skill into proc here. There we go. Okay, why did that not give me a second wind? Oh well. That's fine. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, over there. I see. Why? Why did this not continue to the next song? YouTube playlists are not working for me right now. It is super annoying. Or it might be these songs specifically, because I don't think these songs are from a channel that's recognized by YouTube to host playlists like this. Which sucks, because then I can't use the autoplay function. Look at that. Look at that. That damage is not bad at all. Oh. Alright, shot, shoot, pop. There we go. Oh, went down there. Hi, Sigdrift, we're gonna do this. Pop. There we go. There we go. Another benefit to this weapon having the shooting stuff there is that it gives extra stuff to head count. This way you're able to get more shots off on your opponent in fadeaway. And that way you, instead of having to worry about cycling your ammo with your anointment, you can just fire away and then chuck, and then you will have your action skill back up relatively quickly without having to have action skill cooldown on your comm. There we go, that's a drifted down. And that's the last Valk down. In one attempt, let's go. I mean, the shotgun's doing really well. It has really cool mechanics, so I just feel like a lot of people definitely downplay this weapon, or meme on it way too much. Probably have somebody yelling at me. Oh, I don't. We're cool. Where did that guy go? Oh, whatever. Bop. 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 There we go. This. There we go. What are some conversation topics that y'all would like to hear about while I'm recording these videos and showcasing the builds? Because a lot of what I used to do is a lot of like political commentary, like just stuff that I felt that was interesting going on in like politics. The original casual style of political conversation, not the modernized garbage that is the political conversation today. They'd talk about, I mean, like, we'd talk about modern topics, but in a lot more nuanced takes that are a lot less party-based and a lot more actual logic-based, and being able to have a conversation. Can I, like, not have the music stop on me? There we go. Because honestly, I enjoy talking about politics, talking about law, psychology, and I mean, like, some of my other stuff to talk about is computers as well. I love talking about computers. I guess one of the main polarizing things I like to talk about these days is anti-cheats. Because I got flames in a comment section the other day. I was commenting over in it's Termex video comment section. Because I still love watching his videos. He doesn't make content on games that I play anymore, but I still love watching his videos. And I think he's a cool dude. So I still check out his comment section once in a while. And I was talking about how I would love to play some of the games that they've been playing recently. Like Once Human and The First Descendant and whatnot. But I can't play those games because of the anti-cheat systems that are in them. So easy anti-cheat is one of the big ones here, where running kernel level access to your computer is something that I very much disagree with. I don't think an anti-cheat should be doing that, and especially something like easy anti-cheat. They don't do too much. They don't do anything that warrants kernel level access, and none of these anti-cheat softwares do. None of it warrants kernel level access. They don't need it. They don't need it at all. And so my problem with it is they still utilize it despite not needing it. And when it comes to accesses on a computer, I'm a Linux user, so I definitely love delving into these kinds of things a lot. When it comes to user access, you should only be using your kernel or administrative level access on the really important things that require those accesses. You shouldn't be using it on stuff like an anti-cheat that doesn't need it. Just because it's industry standard doesn't mean it's a good thing. There are definitely a lot of cases where industry standard is a bad thing. I mean, look at, what was that game again? Skull and Bones, the first quadruple A game. And A in that regard is mostly talking about the industry standard of it. If you really think about it, that's what that means, is the industry standard part of it. Is it that value in the gaming industry? And for any of you that actually care about that game, is it even that much of value to it? Because based off of a lot of what people have said about it, it really isn't. Which then again begs the question: is industry standard worth anything when you use that as a statement or argument to agree with something? I don't think that's a good way to, or a good line of argumentation to use for it. When it comes to anti-cheats, I can understand, be like, play the games that you want to play. That argument makes sense to me, and that's fine. I'm not gonna harp on other people for playing games that have anti-cheats that I disagree with. I don't care. Y'all can do your thing. I personally won't play them because of the anti-cheat, and that is enough for me to just be like, no, it's not worth it. This company clearly doesn't have my interests in mind, so I'm not gonna play their game, even if the game is really cool. Again, like The First Descendant. The First Descendant seems like a really cool looter shooter game that's come out recently, and I literally can't play because I run a Linux system. But even if I didn't, even if I ran a Windows, I wouldn't want to play it because of the recklessness that comes with having a kernel level access that I don't have control over. I want control over everything in my computer, and that's one of the reasons why I switched to Linux, was so that I can have control over my computer. I don't want Microsoft to come over and be like, hey, so you don't have access to this, this, and this on your computer anymore, just simply because you no longer are paying for Microsoft Office. Oops, now you have to pay for Windows. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I refuse. I will learn, and I've dedicated myself to this. I will freaking learn everything there is about a computer so that I won't ever have to deal with that problem. And if other people are willing to tolerate that, that's fine. I don't care. That's up to you. I just personally won't do it. And that's been my take on all of the anti-cheat nonsense. It just sucks because I'd love to play Once Human. I'd love to play The First Descendant. Like, all of them, they both look like really cool games. And I very much used to be a gacha game player. I played Summoner's War. I played Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. I'm a very big Dragon Ball guy. And not being able to play those games anymore because, well, with exception because I know enough now to be able to play games that have specific anti-cheats in them and isolate them. But not being able to play games like that just simply because of the anti-cheat because they decided to have a software in the game that doesn't actually really affect the gameplay, but is become like a necessary thing because people in society want to be jerks and cheat in a video game. Using mods maliciously instead of using them for the entertainment value, that kind of stuff, it really just, it gets on my nerves. Like, I'd love to be able to play these games. I very much wish that I could, but I can't see the value in it anymore because of the anti-cheat and the security risks that come with that. I just can't justify it. There are a few games that I have been able to justify it, and I have created a system for myself where it is safe for me to play these games. Like, for example, Elden Ring. Elden Ring runs easy anti-cheat, and I run it on a completely separate system. I run it on a isolated computer that is separate from my main gaming rig and from my main Discord and YouTube and whatnot. I keep it completely separate. It's on its own rig, and I have a virtual machine that runs it in an isolated space, so it is extremely unlikely that it would collect anything from the base computer. And I've also jailbroken the anti-cheat, so I'm not able to play online. I wouldn't want to because I'm playing on a system that they don't agree with. So I'm not going to force them to agree with the way that I want to run the game. I literally can't run it because I run Linux stuff, and easy anti-cheat doesn't let you run stuff on a Linux system unless you are currently running, unless you disable their anti-cheat. Which, you can do that. That's fine. The problem with easy anti-cheat in that regard, though, is they still don't stop their services when you run easy anti-cheat offline. Like, if you disable easy anti-cheat, it still runs. It just doesn't run it in a way that prevents you from playing the game. It just prevents you from playing online. So I run a jailbroken system for it, and I've done all of the necessary precautions to prevent it from being able to access stuff that I don't want it to access. And so that's my thing. If I can justify putting it on a system like that, I will. I'm cool with doing that. But a game like The First Descendant, I literally can't because it's an online-only game. Once Human, it's an online-only game. Despite there being a lot of solo function, it is an online-only game. So I can't do that for either of those games. And with Once Human, I can't do that because it has... And for The First Descendant, I can't do that because it has a separate anti-cheat. It doesn't just use easy anti-cheat. That's why in my YouTube thing, I'm down to play fighters. Because you can play online with Dragon Ball FighterZ. You just can't play with somebody else who currently is using easy anti-cheat outside of a ring match. You can play with other people that are using easy anti-cheat as long as you are playing in a ring match, which there's no actual matchmaking affecting, or there's no there's no direct contact with anything that's significant when it comes to the game. It's just permitting you to be able to play, which I think that's one of the better ways of doing it. Like, Dragon Ball FighterZ does it really well, and I think Xenoverse also allows it as well, although that was through modding and not through their system. But that's besides the point. It's like, I would like to be able to play these games, but simply because of the OS that I run, I can't play them in a traditional way. I have to go about this off the walls method to play the game, which I just don't find that. I don't find it worth it in a lot of cases. Elden Ring is a really good game, and I wouldn't have even tried it if not for somebody buying the game for me. Like somebody else bought it for me thinking that I would be able to play it. And so I was just like, all right, I'll do research and I'll figure it out. I will find a way to play this game, even if it's loading up a new fresh computer to play it, which is what ended up happening. And even then, it was somebody else who bought it for me, and they didn't directly buy it because I not friended with them. They gave me the money to buy it, and even then, I still told them to wait for a sale. As I said, it's like it was really, really very much a stretch for me to be able to play the game, and all of the stars aligned. And it was like, all right, I'll freaking play it, and I'm playing it, and I'm loving it, and it's just like I understand, so I'm going to be missing out on a lot of games like that, but I think for me it is a lot better for me to play games without those anti cheats, and so I'm not going to, even though there is no negative to the anti cheat itself being able to see that stuff. It's not like a direct like privacy concern. It's just a personal security concern. So I don't want to risk anything on that, and I don't think anybody else should, but I'm not gonna treat you any differently or say anything negative about it or whatnot. That's up to you to make that decision. And so I don't have any say in that, and I don't really care. That's up to you. You can have your fun and do your thing. Now that my little soppy rant is over, that was the Flamadiddle, and that was a takedown confirmed without even needing to switch to any cut purse auto idle or whatnot. So thank you guys for watching. This was a lot of fun for a build to make. I've got some build reviews coming up. Hopefully you guys have some build review suggestions in the future. If you guys can send me a build on Discord or send me a YouTube to check out. If you guys found some YouTuber that you want a build review done on, I'll contact them and I'll shoot them like an email and ask them if I can make a build review on their build. And that sounds like a lot of fun, being able to review like a YouTuber's build or somebody else's build. That sounds like so much fun. And I haven't posted one in a while, just simply because I haven't had builds to review. I had to actively go out and ask Average Zeus to go review his build, and that felt very artificial to me. That's not what I'm going for. I use it as an example, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for a lot more just like, if you guys want me to review a build and be able to help you make your build the best it can be, then I'm down to do that. That's kind of what I want to do. And if you're rocking a YouTuber's builds and want to see any improvements that could potentially be made, or just simply see how it looks and to try it out yourself after seeing me play it, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I don't want to just post a build review to post a build review. These challenge builds, I've had a lot of these in store for a while. These are all builds that I already enjoy playing. I play these things on a daily basis. This stuff isn't simply because I'm making these videos. I love playing these builds. And it's the same thing with the build reviews. I love being able to help other people and improve their capabilities to understand the game. So I hope y'all understand that, and would want to be able to have more avenues to enjoy the game. And yeah, I need to get off my soapbox. You all have a good rest of your days, and yeah, go check out It's Term X. I mentioned him in this video. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'll at him or put him in my tags, but I'll definitely leave a link in the description to go check him out. He has way more subs than I do, so I don't know if it's very respectful for me to go and at him and whatnot like that. But you guys go ahead and check out his content. And yeah, I hope y'all have a good rest of your days.